What's good, you guys? It's Djdaniel here, back here once again, and today we're back for some more Clockwork 3. I've actually been recording these, more close toward, when they're actually going up lately. The last one I recorded literally the Wednesday before, and guess what? It's well, no, technically it's Thursday, but, you know how we do it. 30 minutes. I have a timer that I'm about to start as soon as I start. And, I know in the last episode, I said I was going to start from a certain place. But I don't remember what that place was. I don't remember what the place was. So, I know we read through a little bit of this. Yeah. Okay, I think I know where you are. I'm gonna read up a little bit. I hope I'm in the right place. See, that's the only thing I'm worried about. I really need to start taking notes. Anyway, it's already been a 1-minute intro, but it's 2:50. No, not 2:50. Sorry, 12:54 in the morning, Thursday morning to be specific. And I have school tomorrow, so my voice is a little shot. Actually. Whoops, one moment, please. Sorry about that, guys. I misplaced my water. I'm gonna need that if I'm gonna last through this, but, okay, I remember reading this, so, we're gonna start from here. If I do mess up, then, basically, go check out the last episode. I know for a fact we read this. Okay, so starting the timer now. Yaakov held the seat for Hannah. I shouldn't, she said, but she was curious and sat down anyway. How does he predict the future? This is the old woman. Well, this is I don't remember her name, but she's the mystic woman, so let me think of something. Through dreams and visions, it's his gift, just as I am given the gift of communication with the dead. Oh, was all Hannah could say, wary now. She imagined a tiger behind her, ready to pounce, and ghostly fingers reaching out to her neck. She held still without meaning to. There, Madame Pomeroy said. Now that you're sitting there, I want to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. She pulled out a stack of cards, not playing cards. These were larger, and Madame Pomeroy shuffled them. Tell me, child, why are you working in this hotel? Hannah looked down at her apron. Come, child, what is it? She began laying the cards on the table, and appeared purposefully about where they were supposed to go. She placed 4 cards in a column. You can trust Madame Pomeroy. Hannah knew it was wrong to be so familiar with a guest. She could be punished for it, but something about Madame Pomeroy drew her in. Hannah took a deep breath, and she told the truth. A few years ago, my father was struck with apoplexy. He lost his speech and the strength in his legs. He was a stonemason before, but he couldn't work anymore, so we had to sell our home. My mother can't work because she has to care for him all the time, and there's my little sisters to look after too. That left me. Since my father had worked hard for this hotel, I went to the owner, Mr. Twine, and asked him for a job. He took me on as a maid. Madame Pomeroy had frozen with her hand outstretched, a card quivering between her fingers. How old are you, child? I'm 11. You carry a heavy weight for one so young. Just a quick disclaimer, that's a metaphor. It means that heavy burden, not weight. I just like interrupting things. I manage well. Oh, sorry. That's Madam. I manage well enough. Madame Pomeroy set the card in place. She drew another, placed it, and another, and placed it too, forming a cross of 5 cards next to 4 already on the table. She turned one over, then the next. She studied each, muttered to herself, and said, Hannah took a few glances around the suite while Madame Pomeroy pored over the cards. The room was finer than any Hannah had been in, with inlaid furniture varnished like a mirror, silver clocks forged into clever animal shapes, fine drawings and paintings hanging on the wall in gilt frames. Hannah's eyes met the blue in the alcoves, and she smiled at him. He smiled in return, but it was more of an attempt at a smile than a smile itself. Madame Pomeroy said. Hannah cleared her throat. I should be getting back, ma'am. Miss Wool will be cross with me. Miss Wool, she opened her eyes. Let me worry about Miss Wool, dear. Hannah thought that Madame Pomeroy had no idea what she was asking for. Now, Madame Pomeroy said, you see these cards? Hannah looked at them. She saw a man hanging upside down by his foot, a wheel, a tower struck by lightning, and a strange figure that might have been a man, or it might have been a woman. Other cards bore numbered pictures with swords, chalices, or cups, basically fancy cups, coins, and staves. I have no idea what a stave is. Madame Pomeroy waved her hands over the table. These cards hold keys for you, Hannah. Keys to who you have been, who you are, and who you will be, as you experience the journey of your life. Really? Sorry about that. People and things. I can't turn the sound off, though, because otherwise the alarm won't go off, and I'll just keep reading forever and ever and ever. Hannah nodded, skeptical. I see you have sacrificed much of yourself, and this has taken its toll. You were once so happy and carefree. Life had held such promise. Now you feel trapped. You are full of dark thoughts. Bitterness and sadness devour you like wild beasts. In her heart, Hannah argued with Madame Pomeroy. What did this woman know of her? Hannah was not sad. She had no right to be. Her father lived when doctors said he should have died, and she had her family. Hannah was not bitter or angry. Who could she be angry with? She barely heard the knock of the front door of the suite. Hannah could be not angry with her father or mother. It was not their fault her father had gotten sick. It was not their fault Hannah had been forced to quit her schooling and work at the hotel. Madame Pomeroy sighed. Such darkness. You lie all the time, to yourself and to others, and also feel much temptation. Hannah squirmed in her chair. She did not like this woman. Ooh, that's the notification I actually wanted. You are at a fulcrum, Hannah, a balancing point. There's a conflict in your future, a challenge to the old ways by new ideas, and a possible reversal in order of things. The creation of something wholly, meaning whole, other. You will meet some who can help you if you trust them and help them. You will have the chance to be happy again. I'm happy now, Hannah insisted. Madame Pomeroy smiled. Hush, child. I'm happy. No more lies, Hannah. Hannah stood up. This gets really intense. I'm not lying. What do you know? You're just... Oh, gosh, no. You're just a crackpot spiritualist. You don't know me. Hannah! Sorry, I didn't do the voice right. Hannah! Came a shout from behind her. Hannah spun around. Oh, no. Miss Wool stood in the doorway of the parlor. Yakov loomed behind her, his nose wrinkled as if he smelled something foul. Miss Wool charged into the room. I should have known better than to send you up here. How dare you speak to a guest in this way? Hannah panicked. Miss Wool, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. Please, silence, girl. Miss Wool turned to Madame Pomeroy. I sincerely apologize for this maid's behavior. I assure you she will be dealt with most severely. I can personally guarantee that she will never again show such disrespect to another guest in this hotel. Hannah nearly collapsed to the floor. Her family would be tossed out on the street. What would they do? How would they care for her father? What about her sisters? She felt like sobbing, begging, screaming. It's quite all right, Miss Wool, Madame Pomeroy said, her voice lifting. I'm afraid that I'm to blame for her outburst. You see, I was doing a reading, and I may have nicked her too close to the bone. There is no need to protect her, madam. I appreciate your forbearance, but let me assure you that this maid will be dismissed immediately. Miss Wool stared down at Hannah. Madame Pomeroy clicked her tongue. I think not. Oh no. Miss Wool stepped back. Pardon me? I want to employ her. Want to employ who? Hannah? Yes, I am in need of her personal assistance, and I had hoped to ask you for a recommendation. Having met Hannah, I believe she'll do nicely. Madame, there are other girls on my staff who would be far more superior. No need. I would like to have Hannah assigned to me henceforth. I want her at my disposal at any hour, day or night. This means she will have no time for other duties, I'm afraid. I assume you can spare her since you were about to dismiss her. Miss Wool blinked. Then it's agreed. Yakov, please show Miss Wool out. The Russian swept the speechless woman from the room. On her way out the door, Miss Wool wiped a hateful glare at Hannah. Then she was gone. Hannah slumped into the chair, stunned. She heard the front door open, and a moment later shut. Yakov re-entered the room, a fraction of a grin on his face. I enjoyed that. Oh my gosh. Madame Pomeroy giggled. So did I. What an odious woman. Now, Hannah. Hannah stared. Hannah? Yes? You understand what just happened. You will work for me now. At least for the length of my stay. Yes, ma'am. Madame Pomeroy glanced at the card still spread. I don't think we need to go any further with the reading. You got the gist of it, anyway. The woman sat down and scooped up the cards, rifling them back into a deck. She picked up her book and resumed the position of repose in which Hannah had first seen her. "You've had a long day, child. Why don't you go home early this evening? I'm sure your mother could use your help." "Go home early?" "You act as though you've never heard those words before." "Yes, go home early. But mind you, I won't make a habit of this. Far from it. I can be a harsh mistress if your laziness calls for it." Hannah nodded. Are you sure I can't be of some help to you now, ma'am?" "No, Hannah, but I'll see you at sunrise tomorrow." Hannah remembered to curtsy in spite of her shock and left the parlor. The cove walked her to the door. "Welcome to the movable court of Madame Pomeroy." It's him, sorry. "Welcome to the movable court of Madame Pomeroy," he said. "May your time with us be pleasant." "Thank you." He closed the door behind her. In a daze, Hannah nearly tripped down the stairs. She stumbled down the hallways, trying her fingers to keep her balance. She left through the entrance used by the service staff. Grateful to have avoided seeing anyone else, she knew on her way out Madame Pomeroy may have her from punishment now, but Miss Wool would not let such an affront to her authority go unchallenged. She would find a way to retaliate, and Hannah would eventually face her wrath. At very least, when Madame Pomeroy left, she put that thought away for now. Hannah emerged on Gilbert Square, breathed deep, and set off for home, down Basket Street, and then winding through the side alleys. This early in the evening, she crossed streets that were mostly empty, except for the gawkers, gamblers, drinkers, and poor homeless souls, who seemed to never leave the streets at all. She was a block from home when she saw a boy carrying a coal chute on his back. He sweated and huffed, and she wondered what he was doing, since he did not look like a coalman at all. He was around her age, with modest clothing and clean dark hair. And then he stopped her and asked for directions. She joked with him. He did not laugh. In fact, he did not come across as the kind of boy who liked to laugh at all. He seemed to wear seriousness the way a mason wore calluses. Calluses are the things you get on your hands when you do rough work all day, without gloves or anything, because they didn't have gloves back then. Something in his past had hardened him, Hannah thought. She gave him directions, and he thanked her. She continued on her way until she came to her building, then mounted the steps to her family's apartment. She reached her landing and opened the tiny door. Her sisters fought on the floor, crying. They looked up when she came in and called Hannah's name at the same time. Her mother leaned over a steaming pot. Forehead glistened with sweat, her hair lank, and the skin around her eyes dark and sunken. What was her mother's voice again? Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've recorded this. I'm actually probably going to do some pre-recording this weekend. Let's see. "Hannah," she said, "you are home quite early." "Yes, Mama." "Miracles do happen. Come, take over supper. I've got to help your father turn over." Hannah met her father's eyes. "Hello, Papa." She walked over to him and kissed him on the forehead. "Hannah, please." Her mother held out the ladle. Hannah sighed. She stirred and cooked. They ate together near her father, so he could sit up and join them. Something Hannah always came home too late at night to share in. Okay, this is Hannah. I had to look ahead to see who it was. One of the guests asked that I be assigned to her, Hannah said between bites. What does that mean? Her mother asked. I'll be her personal attendant. That's wonderful, her mother said. It sounds like you're certainly securing a position at the hotel. Hannah looked at the food on her plate. That night, the straw and the fleas in the mattress itched Hannah, and she tossed, fighting for sleep. Street noise kept her awake for hours. The factory men on their way home, shouting and cursing, bakery dogs, a baby screeching. She lay there, remembering the whispered conversation she had overheard, and thought about hidden treasure, a room somewhere on the top floor of the hotel that opened with a spoken word or a spell. But then she heard the pure sound of a violin over top of it all. One note, as if calling her name, and then it was gone. Hannah sat up, waiting. The violin returned, birthing a folk song she had heard before, but never like this. It reminded her of walking to school on a fresh spring morning, of playing in the garden outside their old home. But more than a memory, it was as if she was there again. She smelled the lilac growing against the house and felt the warm dirt between her toes. Her mother smiled from the kitchen window, ruddy and plump, and telling her to get back to weeding. The song stopped. Hannah listened for another tune, but none came. The warmth left behind in her chest reminded her of the hope she had felt earlier. She worked for Madam... Wait, what? Okay, I did have that right. I thought I skipped the page for a second. I have problems, you guys. She worked for Madame Pomeroy now. What was it the woman had said? That stood on a balancing point, a reversal in the order of things. Hannah glanced across the room and saw that her father was awake. He stared at the ceiling, and she saw glistening tears trail down his temples. He had also heard the violin, and she imagined it had freed him for a few moments from his weakened body. She wondered where the music had taken him, and then felt a pressure building inside, a rising swell of grief. Monstrous in size, it licked her toes and threatened to overwhelm her, drag her down, and drown her. She hit the mattress at her side as if to beat it back. No, everything was fine. Okay, I'll tell you guys what. We're going to stop it there. I know I'm sort of a slow reader, but we only have like 8 minutes left on the timer, and I honestly, at that rate, it will go on longer than 30 minutes. But we're at a chapter stop, so I prefer to stop at the chapters. Just helps me keep where I am. But let's talk about it for just a minute. I actually haven't had any water this entire recording. Hold on, guys. Much better. Anywho, so the violin. Let's catch everyone up to speed. First off, we have Giuseppe. I can't tell you which of these pictures is which kid. You can probably guess that the girl is obviously Hannah. I'm going to guess that the one on the left is Frederick, and I'm going to guess that the one next to Hannah is Giuseppe. So, Giuseppe is I don't mean this in a mean term. It's the term that they would use at the time. A street rat. He plays music on the side corner for money, and then he gives some of the money to the boss, of the orphanage kind of place. I don't remember the specific names. I might have to look that up in Spark Notes. Actually, I might be able to do that now. Time out. Anywho, so we know that much. We also know that Frederick, there was a ship crash, and Frederick was looking for something good. He didn't find anything. Of course, Giuseppe found the green violin, which we just heard. If you listen to each story carefully, even though if you read the first chapter, you think he doesn't interact with anyone. That's not technically true. He interacts with both Hannah and he interacts with Frederick. You just don't know it yet until you read the third chapter, when everything starts to come together. I think they don't talk until the 5th chapter, unfortunately. I don't think they all get around for a specific reason. Hold on, I'm just looking it up now. Man, this water is really good. Fortunately, it might not be easy. Characters, doesn't have the age, but I can read their descriptions. Hannah's a young woman whose hardworking father has had a stroke, leaving her family in very reduced circumstances. She takes a lowly job in a hotel where her father used to work as a master mason, foregoing school and providing all the family's income. So basically, she's now the adult of the family. She no longer gets to go to school, because back then, where are we? I think we're in London, if I remember correctly. London. Yeah, this is early 20th century. Yeah. Anywho, so she has to give up everything. It wasn't required to go back to school back then. I don't remember the ages. I'll have to read the book backward and find it eventually. I don't know when it will happen. I'll probably do that tomorrow or Friday night and then record on Saturday. But Giuseppe was taken by his uncle from his Italian home and sold to a cruel fagin-like padrone as one of a gang of urchins who busk and steal for him. Technically, that's not true. It says gang of urchins, which basically means urchins was the word they used back then for street rat. We'd call them street rats. Who, have you ever gone out and seen people, playing instruments or singing, to get money on the streets? That's basically what they did. And then they took all the money and they gave it over to the guy, which is where steal for him comes from. They gave it all to him. He finds a green violin, which seems to offer him a way back home, but which ultimately draws him into deeper trouble. You're not supposed to get the picture that you're supposed to hand over all your money to the band. You're not supposed to hold on to anything of it like Giuseppe has. You're supposed to give all of it to the guy. So what he's doing, hiding it, is not a good thing. If he gets caught, he will most likely be killed. Or in very harsh punishment, which in the last chapter about him we read about. But let me hurry up before this goes over 31 minutes. Frederick is an apprentice clockmaker, left at an orphanage by his dying mother. He's sold by the greedy orphanage mistress to the kindly and elderly Master Branch, aka Master Clockmaker. Believing that his master doesn't recognize his talents, he works secretly on a clockwork figure to prove his skill. Now, that part, when it says believing that his master doesn't recognize his talents, believing instead of just saying that his master doesn't recognize. It's because his master does recognize it. It just, he doesn't, like, recognize it specifically. Anyway, I'll probably read into more, like, I'll refresh my memory on some of the important things, and I might mention them before we go on in the next episode. But, like I said, I just recorded this one so I would have something just in case. I hope it recorded loud enough. If it didn't record loud enough, we're gonna have some serious issues. Anyway, thank you all for checking out the video. You know me, guys, Djdaniel. I'm out. Bye.